Hello everyone, this is Mr. Tanner, and the purpose of this video is to teach you how to use the scale on a map so that you can find real world distances. To complete this assignment, you're going to need two things. The first thing that you will need is this map, this world map of the Robinson projection. You can grab this from the rolling cart at the front of the room by the TV. Every student will need one. And then the second thing that you will need is in Google Classroom. It's under Classwork Unit 2 Mapping Skills. It's using scales on a map. You'll view the assignment, open it in Formative. If that won't load, just go to formative.com. You can just type in formative.com, and then you'll have to log in with Google. So find the login, click on the Google to get logged in, but you will need that as well because the questions exist within Formative. To help you understand how to do this, we're going to do one problem together. So I want you to find on your Formative the question that says, what is the distance from Fort Collins? And then it gives a coordinate 45 degrees north, 105 degrees west to France, 45 degrees north, 0 degrees west. We're going to do that problem together. So the first step of solving this problem is finding those coordinates. So we're going to find 45 degrees north, 105 degrees west. Well, I'm placing the ruler on the 45 degrees north line. 105 degrees west would be halfway between 90 degrees west and 120 degrees west. So it's this line. I'll follow that curve down until I hit 45 degrees north, and I'll plot my first coordinate. The second coordinate, 45 degrees north, 0 degrees west, is on the same line of latitude. I'll just go down now to 0 degrees, work down, and plot the coordinate at 45 degrees north, 0 degrees west. We now have our two coordinates. Then we're going to have to measure. But before we measure those coordinates, make sure you all add to your map that our scale here is 8.5 millimeters equals 1,000 miles. Make sure you write that in. It'll save you from needing to measure this and realizing that that does in fact come out to 8.5 millimeters. The other thing that's important to note is make sure you are measuring with our metric side of the ruler. It'll either say centimeters or millimeters. This is a much more accurate way of measuring because the millimeter lines, these little tiny lines, are much closer together, so it's a lot easier to use. If you're measuring in inches, you will not get the right answers here. So make sure you are measuring in millimeters, and our scale is 8.5 millimeters equals 1,000 miles. Going back to our coordinates, and I'll zoom in so you can hopefully see this a little bit better on the ruler. Let's focus that. We're going to measure the distance between those. And we have to do this carefully. You want to make sure the 0 millimeter or centimeter mark is exactly where it needs to be. And then it's useful to know that this 1 is a centimeter and that is 10 millimeters. If you were to count, there'd be 10 of these little lines in between each one. So we can count by tens. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. It's not quite to 60, so we'll go 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58. If I was measuring that accurately, it's on the 58 millimeter mark. So writing that measurement down, we are at 58 millimeters is our measurement. The math that comes from this is based now on our scale, where 8.5 millimeters equals 1,000 miles. So we will do 58, your distance that you measured, divided by 8.5 millimeters, that part of the scale. No matter what question you're on, you will take what you measured and divide it by 8.5, and then you will multiply that number times 1,000 to get our miles. So let's see what that looks like with our calculator. We'll take 58, the distance we measured, divided by 8.5, the distance on our scale. Multiply by 1,000, and we get 6. We multiply that by 1,000. We get 6,823 miles. If we round that, you would get 6,800. And sure enough, one of our answers is 6,800 miles. So that is how we go about finding the answers to one of these videos, or not one of these videos, one of these scale distances. And you have 7 other questions to go, but it's all the same thing. Figure out what you're measuring, measure it, do the math to find your scale. Thanks for watching, and I hope this helped.